one sexy beast. Stay tuned. Bam. Bam. Next level. Bam. Next level. What up, Nitro Nation? Actually, they make, if you know or don't know, Pico makes Reds components. Not sure what they make now, but don't get it twisted. I know I've said in the past, because I've got information coming straight from the source, but you know how manufacturers are these days, or, you know, certain companies, they're not going to tell you everything. You know, just like you know, different engine modification or engine modders, engine builders, you know, they're not going to tell you their secrets and tell you everything that they do. But anyway, I know Picos make Reds. Reds does some stuff, but most of their stuff's not done in-house, no matter what they tell you. So anyway, what's up, Nitro Nation? Welcome. I know it's been, by the time you see this video, probably been another week, as we, you know, doing the weekly here. You know, things have kind of mellowed out, and, you know, I'm very, very, very grateful, and I feel very blessed, even though the situations that have happened in my personal life in the last, you know, month or so have been very difficult. But again, I want to give a shout out to all those people that have been supporting me. You know the norms, you know, 1/5 RC, Gearhead Addict, you know, Blue Crab, Gunpowder Nitro, you know, Nick Fowler, you know, a lot of the guys, you guys know who you are. Some names I'm just bad with names. If you guys haven't noticed that or not, you can say, hey, do you know so-and-so that you went to school with? I'm like, I don't remember. And then show me a picture of the guy. Oh, yeah, Mark, I know. That's me. That's the muggy. But anyway, shout out to those guys and all those that have been giving me, you know, moral support during this, you know, rough last month or so. But anyway, I want, again, I'm just blessed that that God has provided, and He always provides, and He always has, always will. And, you know, to able to do something like this. Not a lot of people can afford to do, especially the way I do it. I'm pretty spoiled, as you guys know. A lot of people will say, oh, you're a spoiled brat, and you're like, you act like this. It's not, I'm not, maybe sometimes I come off like that, but don't get it. I'm the most humble person you'll ever meet. I am very, very thankful and grateful for what I have. And I, you know, a lot of people, I guess the last video took to heart what I said. If you're brand new, you're a basher, that's cool. But if you're a person that outright states and claims, first of all, you got to have a channel. So again, you know, I'm constantly blocking people, you know, 86ing people off my channel because they want to come and give their opinion, which is fine. I don't care. I don't mind that. But if you're going to talk about something, okay, be about something. If you don't have a channel, you don't have any content, you don't have any video proof of what you're claiming, then just zip it. Shut your cock holster, okay? Because nobody wants to hear it. Just a bunch of words falling on deaf ears, and it's irrelevant, okay? And I don't know how many times I got to emphasize that all the time. Unsubscribe. I really don't give a shit. I know sooner or later I'm going to hit 1,000, and after that, I really don't care. At least I can say I hit 1,000, being the way I want to be, doing what I want to be, saying what I want to say, not caring except to just keep it 100% real, whether it butthurts people or not. If you have a Traxxas, it's a piece of shit. It's zero quality. You can't argue with that. If you try, you know what's going to happen. You're going to get bitch slapped by not just me, verbally bitch slapped, but by a lot of people. Okay? Because Traxxas is zero quality. If it makes you happy and works for you, that's fine. But Traxxas is garbage. Period. That's why I always say that. And I won't change that. Horizon sucks, and I hate Horizon. And because the companies that own Horizon, I really don't care for them. Even though I own a couple OCs now, okay? And maybe, who knows, maybe I might end up owning a 4.0 tri-gear buggy. And, you know, credit due where credit's due. They were iconic vehicles. Collectible, classics, okay? One of the best bashers, you know, in race kits that there ever was made. The 4.0s, not the newer ones. The 4.0s I'm talking about. But still, Horizon owns them, and that's why I don't really care for those companies, and I can't stand Horizon, okay? And they own all the whatever other companies that they own. So anyway, I don't want to turn this into a big old rant, but you know, people like to come on my channel and talk all kinds of shit, but yet they don't even have any channel. They don't have a picture. They don't have nothing. They have nothing. Or they have a channel that has nothing to do with RC, nothing to do with nitro, nothing to do with gas. So I don't mind people coming on and, you know, stating their opinion and, you know, commenting on whatever, but if you're gonna, you know, comment on shit, have something to back it up. Otherwise, it's just a bunch of words. You're talking out your ass, talking out the side of your neck, and it means nothing. So anyway, moving on. Again, shout out to those guys that gave me support. But today, we're gonna fire up some nitro. No fifth scale because we're in the process. They'll probably, maybe, I don't know on this video, possibly, but maybe not. This is just about breaking in, well, not breaking in, it's already broken in, but ripping, running for the first time the Reds. I call it the Big Red. This is the Reds 723 Truggy engine. Designed for Truggy, so we're going to put it in a Truggy. Okay? Eventually, it's going to go in a buggy, though. Because the only thing that I usually run in my Truggies, as you guys know, is 25s, 28s, and 32s. That's it. So 21s and or below 25s, and most 21s are, to me, unless you're racing, bashing I'm talking about, belong in a buggy. So that's why we're going to rip this. Then we're going to fire this thing up. That's why this thing only has street paws on it, because we're not going to send it. We're not going to rip this thing off-road or anything. We're going to just test and tune it. I want to see what the 723, the Reds, this is the biggest engine, baddest engine that Reds has ever produced, according to them. So anyway, we're going to see what it's got in the Techno NT 48.3. These things I'm going to have to try to find some different street tire, new ones, because these are almost done. Probably shouldn't have used those. Those are AKA gridirons, and then the rims, and those are about $100 for a pair. I've got another pair, two more pairs brand new, so no worries, but I probably shouldn't have used those. But anyway, it is what it is. Those are my test and tune road tires for my Truggy. So we've got we're running in here. Show you what we got. We're going to see what this 2112 is all about. Around the 2143, I like it. This one's supposed to have a little bit more top end, according to the specs. That's why I'm running a 13 clutch bill on it. I'm not running a 14 like I usually would in a Truggy, and I'm running only for the second time. It's pretty decent clutch. It's the alpha clutch that's in here. All my Reds clutches are preoccupied right now. They're on other engines. I didn't feel like taking them off, just being lazy. But anyway, I haven't used this alpha clutch. It's a 4-shoe, whatever they're called, and we got a 13 clutch bell on here. So anyway, that's what we're going to run on it. And we're going to see what this 2112 is all about, Reds pipe. So because it has more top end, I figured, well, 13 won't be too bad, but we'll see. And then after that, all we're gonna do is run a few tanks on it, then it's gonna be pulled out, taken, pulled apart, cleaned up, re-oiled and everything, checked, and then boxed up. And obviously, you know where it's going. It's going to RC Renew, Lance Heidman, best model in my opinion out there. If you want a badass engine, you want 3,000 RPMs more on your 21s and 4,000 RPMs more on your 28s and 32s, send it to him. If you don't think, again, I'll emphasize this, that 3,000 to 4,000 RPM increase on a nitro engine isn't worth 100, 125 bucks, even 150 bucks, then you're an idiot and you don't know anything. you don't know what you're talking about. Okay, obviously, modified engines aren't for everybody, but one person and a lot of people, but one main person, one of the most popular people on YouTube still, even though he doesn't do much Nitro anymore, said, and I'll quote what he said, stock engines are not next level. Next level in 8-scale Nitro is different things. Platforms, obviously, could be servos, could be... Main thing, though, that he always emphasized, next level is like this. RCR modified Pico P3.28. Okay? That's next level. This might be next level for racing, but for bashing, this is next level. Modified engines. So, just wanted to get, you know, clear the air on that, because a lot of people will, oh, well, next level. Hey, I didn't say it. I'm not the one that started all the next level stuff, especially from 8-scale Nitro bashing. Modified engines is next level, period. Okay? So, and then we're going to fire this one up. This one has the Pico 3032 pipe, which I like. Pretty close to a Dynamite 086 or a 986 Super Strong. Lots of bottom and mid, but it does have a little top end too. And again, RCR modded 20 Pico P328. Other than my Rex Legend 28.8s, this is really close. This is a badass 28. You guys will see. So we're gonna get this thing, the red 723, see what it's got, scream it a little bit, pin the throttle a few times, test and tune basically, and then that's it. We're not going to really beat on it or send it or really do anything, just but, you know, seeing what it's got on the ground. This, that's why it's got Badlands on it. This is not going in the ground. This is going, we're going to probably send this thing a few times. If you want a really durable, probably one of the most durable to this day still, 8-scale Nitro buggies, and there's still plenty of them out there. The Mugen MBX5 Pro Spec, which is what this is one of the most durable buggies they ever made. This thing is badass. I mean, look at the shock towers, 4mm. I mean, that's pretty beefy for a buggy, you know. Plus, I've got a lot of upgrades on this. Obviously, this has got all the bells and whistles, all the carbon fiber, all the titanium. It doesn't have the stock trays, radio trays it came with. Steering works way better with the upright, the servos upright like that. That's an MBX 7 servo tray that I customized in there, modified to put in there. MBX 7 150cc truggy tank from the MBX 7 truggy. That's the tank in there. Sorosiki, these are basically the newer MBX 7. So it's got a lot of MBX 7 parts. And this is my new body, as you guys just seen. We just finished painting this one. This is a biddy design. I highly recommend biddies. I've got Pro lines. I've got... The only ones that I never try was the lead finger ones, but I don't like them. I think they're ugly, personally. That's a Pro line. It's okay. It's an older Pro line, I think called the Warhawk. But I prefer the J Concepts for my it's just the plastic sticker. And these biddy designs are very inexpensive too. They're not real expensive, and I like the way they look. So I highly recommend, if you want a good body that's durable, that looks pretty fresh, get a biddy design. They're good bodies. A-Main carries them, man. So there's my new paint job. Look familiar? The Cobra, the difference is the colors are reversed. So anyway, all right, hold tight. We got to warm I'm going to get the head warmer out, warm this thing up. Give me a minute, and we're going to fire the big red, I'll call it. The 723, biggest, baddest engine that Red's ever made. It's a shame they're discontinued. All right, people, hold tight. What up? You guys ready? It's time to first fire and rip of the Red's 723. Let's, hold on, let me figure out my damn camera action here. So, quick side note, nothing to do with Nitro, but as far as 5th scale, I've got a lot more good. I was telling, shout out to 1/5 Chris RC again. He's been helping me a lot with this Baja, and I was telling him, I said, you know what, this shit is never ending as far as, you know, upgrades and all the money you can spend putting into these fifth scales, you know. I mean, I'm probably going to put, I've thought about it, I'm probably going to put, I'm going to probably go with the RC Max front and rear billet aluminum. They're badass looking, and I know they're not just the looks, they're going to benefit the 5B. Comes with the RC Max front and rear shock towers, billet shock towers, and then, or I just might get at least the diff cases. So I'm going to spend more money. We're probably going to be putting said and done when I'm done with the 5B, like nothing anymore, just tires and bodies or whatever, probably about $5 grand. So when I build, and if I build a 5T, I'm probably going to drop about $6 grand into it at least. So, but that won't be till sometime probably next year. Right now, we're doing the, you know, upgrading the Baja 5B that I just got, you know, but for under $600, like I said, man, you can't beat it. Out of the box, throw some fuel in it, break it in, and it's ready to go. But those of you that have them, or that know about people that build them, there's so much you can do to them. But anyway, we got a lot of goodies. I'll update you guys on that as when, you know, as I'm putting, you know, the goodies that I just got, I'm still putting them on. I'm waiting for a couple other things, because I figured since I've got it torn down now, you know, I might as well put the things that I want to put on it now, and you know, and build it from the ground up. So I like that saying. I think that's funny that Woogie says built or not bought. But remember, you got to buy the shit before you build it. So it's kind of like, reminds me of, you know, when I said, you know, new, barely used, which I thought was lame, but a lot of people thought it was cool. Used, but barely new. So anyway, I know I had an issue with vapor lock. When you don't put the breathers, the Snappy RC preferably, I think that's the one I know they make, breathers, fuel breathers on those Bajas, the tanks, you will get vapor lock. And that's what was happening on the last time I ran it. So I already got it installed. I'll show you that. I'll try to include it. I should have enough room on this clip, but if you guys have already watched it, then you know that I did include it, so I'm not sure. So if you watched it to be in this video, that means I included it, and I probably did, because that thing, I almost wanted to quit. It is a bitch to put those things on, and I will show you, or you will see, and I'll explain, because there's only one video out there on how to install those things that was really detailed, and he left out a couple things because there was a few things that he didn't figure out that I got to work. That was a major issue on those Snappy RC fuel breather things, or whatever they're called. But anyway, something you guys obviously will be seeing or have seen. Now, this engine, it's got about a quart through it, he said. Okay, from the looks of it, he's pretty right. It's pretty accurate. You guys seen what it looked like. Pretty new. So we're not gonna like 9-second pull or anything like that. So we are gonna rip it, pin it, you know, give it some, you know, see if it can hit some high notes, dial in the tune, and that's pretty much it. But it's ready to go. So let's fire this thing up. One thing I did want to mention for those that are new or thinking about getting into Nitro, another great radio. Those are great, entry level, 30-40 bucks. If you want to go from the next up that, but you don't want to spend a lot of money, these are great. But take mental note, these have issues sometimes when you mount them in a place where they're going to get warm. When the telemetries get warm in the receivers on these IT4, this is called the FS, FlySky FS IT4S. I love this radio. That actually has more bells and whistles than my Noble. It just doesn't feel solid like the Noble, but it's a good radio, and I only use it on my Technos, because if you know, the Techno receivers are in the rear, are not in the rear, they're in the middle. So if you have a receiver that's back here, even mine, if you guys can, I don't know if you guys can see that, I put aluminum tape inside of there to keep the whole radio box warm. You don't want your radio box, and you want your radio box and your servos to kind of stay cool if you can, because when those things heat up, servos take a shit, receivers start having issues. But anyway, enough of my yip yapping. Let's rip this thing and see what we got here. All right, people, you ready? Another thing, if you can't find or get TNR fuel, if you can't get TNR fuel, now I'm running, keep in mind I'm running a 13 on this thing, so it's pretty snappy. And we're still running it kind of rich. I don't think I'm really going to lean it that much because it's still, engine's still pretty new. Now reds can be finicky because remember the engines and certain components are Pico based. And if you guys know anything about Picos, tolerances are very tight, so it takes a lot of fuel to break them in to where they're, you know, they're loosened up a little bit. And also Picos are real finicky to tune. I don't say they're hard to tune, they're just real touchy. Remember, some Nitro engines, you know, I see people, 15, 30 hour turns, which to me, if you guys can see my watch, an hour turn would be an hour turn. Most of the time, I'm just turning 5, maybe 10, depending on the engine. Some engines, it's like a minute that you turn it. But once you do get reds tuned, dialed in, they're money, man. They stay, you really don't have to mess with them all the time. I don't want to say it idle for days, but I like the way this pipe sounds. Also, another thing I just noticed, because I have a few of them now, I have 3 of them actually, all the reds pipes that I have, they're all, if you guys look at them, they're super strongs. Look at the stingers. Can you guys see the stinger? They're super strong. So they're thick, which is cool. But she rips, man. I can feel this engine's got some torque. And she screams like a bitch. Like a banshee on crack. I think my tune's pretty dialed in, and I dialed it in on the box and warmed it up a little bit. I think it's about right where it should be. It was when I first, before I started filming, when I first put it down to get it warmed up a little bit more, it was running kind of lean. But depending on where the guy lived, the altitude, remember the altitude, barometer, all that shit plays factor when you're tuning. And if you want the best tuning video out there, highly recommend go watch JQ. Okay, let's get a little scream on it. See what it's got, top end. Oh yeah. It's only got a 13. I probably should have put a 14 on it. I could probably run a 15 in the truggy, but yeah, it's not going to go in my truggy. When it gets modified, when Lance does his magic to this thing, I'll tell you what, this will be probably what I told a lot of guys. Those of you guys that are red, that are reds guys, when I get this thing back from RCR, renew, and Lance mods this thing, because Lance does, these are his thing, Pico based engines. You know my reds, the other one I have, we call the F1 Rocket. Once this thing gets modified, this thing will be nasty. It'll be probably the baddest, fastest, Most powerful Reds engine you'll ever see filmed on video. Remember, it's the biggest, so. I mean, this thing will definitely give my .25 Roma a run for its money. Alright people, so yeah, not real torquey, but you can feel it's got a little bit more power than a normal .21 Reds. Trying to dial in my steering. What I was going to say about fuel, if you can't get the TNR fuel, I highly recommend Sidewinder. Still available. It's a little pricey, but like I've said before, you get what you pay for, man. Don't skimp on fuel. If you guys use Bones and you don't have an issue with it, problems with it at all, then stick to your Bones. I just have heard more negative things than positive things about Bones. That's why I never used it. And I've seen people have engine issues with Bones. So I think it tunes okay for as rich as it's running, so. Let's do the microtic test real quick. 4, 5. Count to 20. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Blows a little bit of smoke. Okay, so now, let's see if the idle's okay. First, what do we gotta do? Turn this baby over. No change in the idle whatsoever. Okay? Drop it. No change. Yeah, this thing is going to be pretty nasty when it gets modified. I can't wait. So this, I think, is the last one. That makes it 9 or 10 engines that I'm going to get modified. Man, I'm going to be testing and tuning for after I get them back, probably till some beginning of next year sometime. I'm going to try to send these out in the next, all these engines out in the next couple months. So hold tight. 5th scale. Upgrades, goodies, all that. Probably going to run that stock 30.5 King Motors engine in it. We just did all the bolt ups. 990 modified carb. Change the velocity stack, the DDM one. 1/5 RC Chris should be sending me my new pipe. Shout out again to Chris. Always looking out for a brother, you know. He should be sending that pipe sometime this week. Said he was going to try to get it out today. Today's Monday. You guys probably won't see this. Or today's Tuesday, I'm sorry. You guys probably won't see this video till Tuesday, Wednesday, I don't know, probably around Thursday, before Friday. Tell you what, this would be a hell of an engine to run stock on a track. It'd be nasty. So, I like it. I like the red 723. Too bad they discontinued it. Like I said, there's only 50 of these that exist in the world. So they were really, really limited. I'd like to get a hold of another one now. I think I've seen one more, brand new one. Oh, what do I got there? Hauling around a bunch of lumber? What the hell? I'm going to turn down the idle just a little bit. Actually, remember when you're tuning, when you turn your low end needle, and I'll give a shout out to this guy because I haven't heard from him in a while, and he did teach me one thing, and the one and only thing that he taught me in tuning was that whenever you turn your low end needle, rich or lean, you need to compensate with your idle. It's part of tuning. So if you lean out your bottom end, which means you're turning it clockwise, you need to turn down your idle, which means you're turning it counterclockwise, and then vice versa. And this guy's name is Family Affair. I have no hard feelings towards the guy, you know. We've got into a few scuffles, and I know he's had personal stuff just like all of us. And yeah, you know, credit due where credit's due. The one thing he did teach me is when you're turning the low end needle, when you're tuning, you got to compensate the low end needle with the idle, vice versa. I think I got a little air leak somewhere in the fuel line, because when I went to shut it off, it didn't quit right away. If you go to shut your engine off and it doesn't quit right away, then that usually means that there's an air leak somewhere in your fuel system. So let's check this real quick. We'll see what the dealio is. I learned that from Nitro Nerd. See how it doesn't quit right away? It took a second to quit. There's an air leak in the fuel line somewhere, so what I'm gonna do, it's time to change these. I'm gonna change the fuel lines again anyway, but there's a different ways to change the air. Let me see if this has anything to do with it, if that's holding it up, because it's getting pinched on there. We'll see if that does anything. I doubt it, but never know. That's the one thing I don't like about the, hold on a second. The Red's pipes is the way the little nipple from the exhaust, the way it comes out like that. I don't really care for that, because then you got to run your freaking fuel line the other way. So maybe the fuel line is getting a little kinked somewhere. That could be it too. So we'll check this real quick. So yeah, like I said, shout out to Family Affair. That guy did teach me one thing as far as tuning goes, and it was who's calling me? South Carolina. Who's calling from South Carolina? Hold on a minute, people. Hello? Hey, why are you calling me from a different number? You got changing phones now too, or what?
Different number?
Yeah, it doesn't show up Trevor. It says 1-843-291-4959.
That's my number.
Yeah, but it usually says your name. It doesn't show your name. Why?
I know that shit happens to my phone sometimes too. Like
Well, it's the first time you've ever called. This is the first time you've ever called me, and your name. I wasn't even going to answer because I don't. If it doesn't come up, recognizing of who it is, then I don't even answer it. I'm like, fuck it. That's why I'm like, who the hell is this guy? Because you called earlier, and it says Trevor. It actually right here, Trevor Gearhead Addict. That's what I have for.
Right.
It doesn't show up.
I just finished the job. I'm heading back to the shop. I'm on tools.
Oh well, you're on video. You're on video now, so you might as well just chill for a minute. I was just explaining. Say hello, YouTube.
Hey, what's up, YouTube? What up, partner?
Who is this? Who is it? Who is this?
They can hear me?
Who is? Yeah, they can hear you. Who is this? Who is this? Who am I talking to? Is this the Gearhead Addict?
Trevor, it's Gearhead Addict. Son.
Is it Gearhead Addict? What? This is Mr. Diesel? Mr.
I just got done with the job. I got to go back and sort out all my tools.
Is this Mr. Diesel Mechanic over here or what? Yeah?
Yeah.
Life of a rancher? So anyway, when I was just explaining, when you shut off your engine, when you go, I usually plug up the hole with my tuning driver, plug up the exhaust, or you could hit the flywheel. But I like plugging up the exhaust because when you plug up the exhaust and it doesn't quit right away, there's usually an air leak or a kink somewhere in your fuel lines.
Yeah, that's a good way to troubleshoot it, yeah.
Because if you do the regular way, some people do, you hit the little flywheel tool and you hit the flywheel, you'll never know. Except for you can't tune it right and it'll run shitty.
I always shut mine. Once I know everything's good on mine, once I do all that, make sure I know everything's, I always shut mine off the flywheel. I just touch it with my finger and it shuts right off.
Oh, I don't touch the flywheel. Hell no. I just put my little thing over the pipe.
Yeah, I mean, that works too.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean, son?
You know what I'm saying?
Here, hold on. Okay, then that was it. The way that I had the fuel line hooked up here, it had a little kink in it from that's what I don't like about the Reds pipes. I was just telling the Nitro Nation here, because the pipes where the outlet, the breather outlet that you put your hose onto, it faces forward. Yeah, instead of the other way, facing back.
Yeah, there's a lot of pipes I got.
I don't like those.
I don't like it, but all I do is I just use a longer.
Yeah. Hey, hold on a minute. All right, people. Well, there it is, the Red 723. It is a badass engine, biggest engine Reds ever made. It's a shame they only made 50 of them in the whole planet. I might try to see, like I said, I've seen one. I don't know how much he wants. I'd like to get another one. But this one definitely is going to... Hey, who's the best modifier out there right now, Nitro?
Lance.
Who's Lance? Oh, is that RC Renew guy? Yeah, I heard he's pretty badass.
Me and Lance.
I heard he takes your engine and makes it like supersized or something.
Yeah.
Like steroids it. Like steroids it.
Yeah, I've been to a shop right here in Charlotte.
All right, people. Catch you guys in a second. All right, people. You know what time it is. It's time. Yes, like I said, the Reds 723 is definitely next level. Okay. Keep in mind we were only running a 13 pinion. I probably should have put a 14 on it, but I like it, and I can't wait for this thing to get modded. This thing modified is going to be a nasty beast. So anyway, now from next level to next level. Pico P3.28 RCR modded Pico 3032. You ready? Let's rip this thing. Let me put the camera on my head. Okay. Alright, people. Let's fire this baby up. See if we can get a little A little bit of a tune on her. She just sounds nasty. Tell you what, even in a buggy, man, comparing this to that Red's 723, it's not even the same in the same fucking book, let alone page. This old fucking, what are they, probably 15-year-old engine, even though it's brand new, would spank any fucking .21. I don't care what it is. Yeah, this thing's a ripper. It's just hard to, like, when you steer it, it just wants to go all over the place. Waiting for the tires to just blow off. Uh-oh, shit. Still idling kind of high. They say it was one of the most durable buggies ever made. 2005. She's pretty old. But she still rips, man. If you can find them, these Mugans are still out there, the NVX5 Pro Spec. Highly recommend them. Highly recommend them. Hold on a second, let me put the bottom. Well, she is an NVX5 Pro Spec, but she looks like a 7. Well, she's got a lot of 7 parts on it, so. Alright, I don't know how much longer, people, these tires are going to hold up. This one's blowing off. And this one, I don't know if you guys can see that. This one's coming off. here, so that one's definitely off on the inside. So we'll run it until we blow the tires off, I guess. Tell you what, modified 28s, especially Picos. Oh, come on! Oh! She didn't land right side up. Well, a little bit of tumbly wombly, people. All right. Very durable, though. Oh, we're just tumbling her around. So that tire blows off. We're going. What do they say? Till the wheels fall off? I think I got a 14 or a 13 on this thing. No, I think I got a 14. You can see that right rear tire is just ready to go. Watch. We're just till the wheels fall off, people. It's a lot of fun putting big engines, especially modified ones like this, in a buggy, but I'm just hoping I don't do too much damage to this thing. I have a lot of spare parts for this thing. That's what I love about Mugens, is that even on a, 9-year-old whip like this, you can still find a lot of MBX5 parts. If anybody's interested, I can build you one. Minus the engine and electronics, obviously, I can build you a nasty MBX5 Pro Spec or an MBX5R that you could race and would be still competitive, and you can bash. She jumps pretty even. Ever since I changed the shocks, these Sorosuke shocks, they work a lot better than the stock ones, I'll tell you that. Whoa! I was going towards me. Thing got sideways. See how that rear wheel's holding up. Still on. That one's not off. These are the Badland knockoffs with the rims. You can get them for like 35, 40 bucks. They're identical to the Badlands too. Came up sideways. I was trying to get more air. To me, that's bashing. Not jumping, 100 feet in the air. That's cool. If you want to test the durability, though, this is how you're going to test the durability. Oh! This Mugen is, like I said, man, this thing is so durable. I'm trying to get it flying up here, but it keeps getting sideways. This thing just got... It's because that tire, I can't get any traction to punch it and go straight. And I'm gonna launch it up this thing, man. See if I can get it straight, hauling ass. Oh! Little tumbly wumbly there. All right, people. Little tumbly wombly. Man, them some sexy OG, what the muggy calls cougar. I think I said earlier that it's 9 years old or whatever. This thing is 17 years old. 2005, 2000, almost 2022 now. Yeah, it's coming up on 17 years old. Yeah, cougar, badass, MBX 5 Pro Spec. They're all over. If you guys need help, hit me up. They're all over the place. If you're new, you want to get a something better than a, you know, RCR that you could race. If you set this thing up right, you could race and you know, in your local track, whatever, and be competitive, guaranteed. So we got the old, and then we got the new. Obviously, the Techno NT 48.3 Chuggy. In my opinion, and I know a few others, the baddest bashing Chuggy and probably race Chuggy. Although the Mugen MBX8, obviously, you know, according to its record, I think right now it's in the standing, it's in the world. It's Jared, Tebow, and Mayfield are the top two. But there's other guys. But anyway, badass NT 48.3. All the modifications and bells and whistles you can ever get. Like, even if you bought the new NT 48 2.0 when it comes out, the new Chuggy, Nitro Chuggy when it comes out, still wouldn't have all the shit this thing has. But anyway, the Red 723, what's my final assessment on it? By the way, my camera was tripping. We're on back on my phone. I had to take the SIM card out of my GoPro and put it in here to continue this because it kept cutting out and then my battery died. I thought I charged it all the way, but anyway, sorry about the technical difficulties, what I call, you know, glitch in the matrix, but it's all good. We beat the hell out of this thing. We tumbly wombly there. We flew her and flipped her upside down. Nothing broke. I didn't have any issues. Just the only thing that happened is the tank came loose and a little bit. So I'm going to have to remount that in there, make it more secure. Because remember, that's an MBX7 tank. It's not an MBX5. I don't run because I'm not racing on bashing. I run 150cc Chuggy tanks. I run them in all my buggies. The only one I haven't switched over yet is a Cobra. But anyway, this Pico P328 modded by, bam, right there, RCR. This is a nasty mofo. Okay, again, if you're a person that claims that you're King of Bashing or Mr. Basher or, you know, you're you know, Basher Joe Schmo, and this isn't, I'm not talking about newbies, I'm talking about the people that claim that they're, you know, hardcore bashers. You don't own a modified Pico 28, a modified LRP 32, or a modified 28.8 Rex Legend. I don't know what to tell you, man. Don't fake the funk, was the Nitro nerd used to say. But anyway, we beat the hell out of her. I think the rear end came a little bit loose. I went over it between now and it's pretty much filthy, but it's not filthy as when I just got done. What I do and I suggest, if you don't got an air compressor and you don't use compressed air, which you can use, I use all the time because you don't have a compressor obviously out in the field when you're out here. I always, before I take my whips back to the pad, I take paint brushes. Highly recommend different size paint brushes. Get all the dirt off it and dust it out really good. I mean, this thing is still going to get pulled apart because you can see it's pretty dirty. This one only ran on the road, breaking in and, well, not breaking in, but first rip and run and test and tune of the red. So I think the exhaust was leaking a little bit there. That's why, if you guys noticed, the idle was kind of, it was tuned fine, but the idle was jumping around a little bit. And I noticed there's a ton of oil on the engine, and it's coming from the exhaust gasket. The one that I used on there is no bueno. So anyway, we'll get that cleaned up. Can't wait to get that engine modified. Hopefully it's half as badass as this thing, but it's only a .23. This is a .28. So there you go. Pico, Techno, Reds versus Pico, Techno versus Mugen, whatever you want to call it. Next coming up, stay tuned. There will be some Fitzco. I think we're going to bust out the baddest 5B that I've ever seen on video. We're going to rip that baby. And I'll show you what's the updates on the Baja as they come. There might be some pictures or some shots somewhere in this video of some of the process of you know, the upgrades that I'm doing to it right now. Anyway, we're gonna hit that one up. Yeah, so you guys should be seeing at the beginning of this video, you should be seeing the now I forgot what it's called, Snappy RC fuel breather, whatever chingadera they call it, and give you guys some tips, show you a little. What up, people? Sorry about all the glitches in the matrix. I'm on the same page as Woogie. It's time to get a new GoPro, especially me. Mine's a GoPro too, which is like, I don't know, 15 years old or whatever. But anyway, don't ask me how this part of the video ended up on the end. This should have been on the beginning, but it is what it is. So anyway, we are going to go over the Snappy RC Ultimate Fuel Kit. I've already installed it, so it wasn't easy, and I'm going to explain why and what I ran into and the solutions that I found. But before all that, these are, now that we're done with the 723 Reds, I was impressed. It is a pretty badass. It didn't blow me away, but I would have to say, out of all my Reds engines that I've ran stock, all my point, you know, because they're all .21s, being that's a .23, the 723 felt a little, I could feel that it had a little bit more power and a little bit more torque. Not a lot, but a little bit more. And I can't wait to get it modded. It'll be badass. So these are the engines that we're sending to RCR Renew here in the next few weeks. We've got the Alpha .28, the one that actually Ryan Lutz signed it. This one didn't impress me that much, okay? But anyway, we're going to see if we can polish that turret up. We got the Works B5 Pro 2. This one was had some work done to it by Jeremy Quartz. We got a few Reds. We got some Novas, LRPs. Obviously, the title of this video is Pico versus Reds. Who made who? Well, those of you that know or don't know, Pico does make red stuff, regardless of what anybody tells you. So, but don't take my word. Go do your own research. Go do your own homework. Pico is still making red stuff. So anyway, not sure what they're making for Reds, but they are making Reds parts. Okay, anyway, so, yeah, and I also was impressed by this pipe. I like this. This is the EFRA Reds 2112. I have a 2112, 2143, and I have the 2104, I believe it is. 2104 is a lot of just mostly top end, mid and top. This 2112 is pretty comparable to the 2143. It has a lot of it has a lot of bottom and a lot of mid. As you guys seen me run it on the 723, it's got everything across the board. It's got bottom, mid, and it's got top. It's a good pipe. I like it. Highly recommend it. A-Main carries it. So, now to this. This is, I've already installed it. This is a gas tank. Baja 5Bs have these tanks, stock tanks, okay? Snappy RC, which you can get through DDM. It's the ultimate fuel kit. It's like 20 bucks, I believe. Comes with the grommet that has the 3 holes in it. You can optionally get the fuel line. It's like $1 for a foot. Comes with the little breather deal that comes out of it. And they give you a piece of this tubing. I do not know why. This, do not use this. You can go ahead and do what you want. Remember, what I'm going to show you is to whoever wants to try it. You're going to have most people that I know, and especially certain people, are going to not listen to anything I just say right now. They're going to do their own trial and error. Go for it. I'm going to tell you one thing. This thing is a bitch to get on. I almost threw this thing in the trash because it is hard. It is like trying to get a needle up a tight ass person with a jackhammer. You heard that expression, you know. But anyway, the grommet is really tight. You're gonna have to get it. Those of you that have ever changed a tire or an inner tube, I mean, change a tire on a bicycle, sometimes it can be a bitch. You got to work one side of this grommet inside of the hole, and then it is. I swear I almost quit. It was bad. And slowly work it in with a flathead screwdriver. Don't use anything sharp. Use something blunt, preferably a small flathead, and just slowly work it in. They tell you to make the feeder line, which is the blue line that goes in, 5 inches or so. I did mine 4, and it's perfect. Also, I highly recommend change the stock filters out, put the bigger clunks in it. Better fuel flow. Okay, I did that with my 5B. Okay, you can see where it sets in there flat, plenty of room. The red line is the return line. They tell you to do that one 4 inches. I did this line, the feeder line, I did 5 inches. This line I did, I did this 4 inches, yeah, and this 3 inches, the return line. Now this deal here, I tried every type of fuel, different, nothing would stay on here. When you go to put the line on this breather, it wants to back off. It keeps coming off and coming off. This, I don't know why the hell they gave you this. There's no way in hell this is going to fit. I even heated it up, but it still wouldn't fit. This is like way too tiny. That's a joke. But anyway, the only fuel line that fit on here that didn't back off is this right here. You do what you want, like I said, but this is what I just found out. Okay, large tie-down fuel line. There's a part number, pause, by Full Force. That's the only, and look, I've tried all different types of line, like, I don't know, 5 different types of fuel line, and none of them would stay on. They kept backing off, backing off. This is the Tygon Full Force, this yellow stuff, is the only shit that stayed on there. And you only want to run this like a ½ inch or so from the grommet in, okay? You don't want this down too far because then you're gonna have, you don't want fuel coming up through here. But that's pretty much it. It's a pain in the ass, but it is doable. Highly recommend it because you eventually will experience vapor lock when your engine gets hot and heats up. And the fuel line gets this in here, there's nowhere for it to escape. The 5Ts and 5Bs, those of you that have them, no, they already come with their own breather, so you don't need to do this. Highly recommended. So some people will do the breather on here. I mean, there's other ways. This is what I'm doing. This is what I've seen. There's like one video that on YouTube that barely showed anything. So I took what I learned from him. The only thing he couldn't figure out is he didn't figure out what kind of line to use on the actual breather, because all his shit kept backing off. This is what I use, and this is what works. Doesn't back off. Heat it up a little bit if you want with a heat gun, so it's just easier to slide on. Then when it cools off, it'll tighten. So anyway, that's it. That's if you're gonna use one of these, that's what I recommend you do. But like I said, get your own experience. You will get frustrated. That is such a bitch to get in there. Okay, but it's in there and it's good to go. We're good to go. We've done some other upgrades to the 5B. We'll cover that on the next video. And also on the next video, you will be seeing the 5B ripping because the Baja's torn down because we're doing all kinds of upgrades. And we're probably going to run the muggy too. So we'll run the mug. I'm planning to run the muggy and the 5B together. So it'll be the first time I ever ran a muggy and my muggy. And we're going to see what they're all about. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. You guys have a great week. Muggy's out again. Sorry for the glitch in the matrix and the camera work, and we're working towards getting a new GoPro soon. That's going to be next on my list. So anyway, all these engines are getting modified by RCR. So in the next few months, there will be an unboxing of all these badass engines, and we're going to start running them and ripping them and see what they're like once they're modified, so we can appreciate the modification. That's why I run them. All these engines have less than a half gallon through them. Okay, roughly under 2 quarts. Okay. All right, people. Muggy's out. Everybody have a great week.